All right. Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with Regina. And I have my friend James Elliot on
Morning.
with me today. Thank you, James, for being here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is going to be a great conversation. So, let me
Agreed.
tell you a little bit about James. James helps entrepreneurs scale and build a legacy, create more free time, travel, fun, and take back their health without self doubt, overwhelm, or burnout. Get this, in just 90 days. How cool is that? So, James
Awesome.
is a speaker, a coach, a best selling author, and he's been helping businesses succeed for 24 years. He's taken everything he's learned as well as his experience with success and failure. This is going to be a good conversation.
hmm
Learning and growth, and created a program to help you make a bigger impact, scale your business, all while having more time and freedom and avoiding that burnout and self doubt. Wow. Thank you so much for being here today, James.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Happy to be, and I can't wait to share some value with your people as well. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, you talk about the self-doubt and the burnout and
hmm
all that
hmm
kind of stuff. Let's start there. What is the biggest challenge that you see with most of the folks who are in your circle who come to you
hmm
with running their business? And what is it that they need most? Because that self-doubt, burnout. What is the number one thing they got going on?
Well, a lot of you're right. A lot of it is that self doubt, that imposter syndrome, which we all have. I mean, I've coached people just starting businesses. I've coached millionaires and even a billionaire, and everyone has that imposter syndrome and that self doubt. It's insidious. It's in all of us. So we might as well learn to manage it because it'll always be there. Consequence though of having it limits us. It truly limits us. It prevents us from taking big action, big risk. Even if we do, sometimes we step back because we're afraid, what if people find me out, or what if they say I'm no good, or what if they fire me, what if they don't buy my thing, or tell everyone it's crap, or whatever the monkey little in the back of the brain, or that gremlin on your shoulder is starting starting to say to you. It's insidious, and we all have that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, which comes from a number of sources. It comes from our past programming, 0 to 7, age 0 to 7, basically past programming from parents, culture, society, religion, teachers, failures, all kinds of the news, media, government, messages we're getting everywhere, magazines. You're not good enough unless you buy this makeup or this cologne or this lipstick or this whatever. It's really, really interesting. Um, so that is some of the biggest things that limit us and probably cause us as well to become burnt out. We can touch more on that later, because we're all trying to be someone we're not, just to impress someone we probably really actually don't care about if you really look at things, or don't care really, but we're not being ourselves, which is exhausting, and keeping up this facade. And I no judgment, I did that too for many, many, many years after being bullied and picked on. I wanted to be anything but myself who people picked on. So I don't know if that answers your question fully, but that's my thought for you, my initial thought anyways.
Well, that is a great start because it started invoking a lot of questions for me. So
Beautiful.
you said something at the beginning there, and you said that imposter syndrome, that I'm not worthy feeling. You said it will
Mm.
always be there.
Great question. Great question. We can manage it. We can manage it. We can nuke it. And I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in 25 years working on this and doing this. And yes, nuking it, getting rid of it, deleted it. I think there'll always be little parts of us, or little bits of that come up and rear its ugly head right in the middle of a meeting or a speech or a presentation or a date or a sales pitch or whatever. You can dramatically impact it, especially with some really powerful subconscious tools, and not just talking about the problem. There's some really good work to do on that. That being said, I think there'll always be a little bit of self-doubt, a little bit of imposter syndrome, a little bit of am I good enough? I think it's a journey for us. It'll always be there, and that's why, again, people starting out, millionaires, and even the billionaire, mind you, he hadn't done any work on himself, so that could be why it was there. But I think it'll, to some degree, you can minimize it. You can have it almost not bug you anymore, but it is a journey, and I think it is lifelong that we're working on it. So being aware of that and being aware we need to manage it, which is why I love teaching tools and skills versus just, again, talk therapy, talk about the problem. Well, then the problem will always be there. So let's get rid of it.
I really love the idea of what you're saying, because there are so many people out there who their approach is, we're going to get rid of this.
Hmm.
Reality is that you're never really going to get rid of it. You're going to learn how to live with it, acknowledge it. We have these beliefs that we're brought up with, and some of them are very, very deep. And yeah,
Like glue. Yes.
and
Yes.
and they don't just disappear overnight. You don't just run a process. I have a little
That
process for
doesn't bother me
limiting
anymore.
beliefs too, and I tell people all the time that this is not a fix it thing. This is
Or quick,
yeah, it's really all about acknowledging what's going on, right? So, how do you help people how do you actually help people realize and acknowledge that they actually have this?
and it's fair because I've had so many people say, "Oh, I don't think I have any limiting beliefs, James," and I'm like, "Are you human? Are you human?" And I almost I have to and nothing against them. I just have to not laugh when I hear that because, to your point, some of us are more aware than others. Some people understand that they have limitations, limiting beliefs. Some people, either the ego is so in the way, or they're so dissociated or distracted or so logical in the left brain, and they don't dare touch the right brain because that's probably where all the fears are, the worries are. Even though that's probably one of our biggest resources is our right brain to be creative and lift us up and help connect and sell and enroll people. But it's to your point. I don't know if it ever goes away completely. Now I'm only 44. Maybe when I'm 90, I'll say, Regina, it's completely gone. But it will dramatically decrease the self doubt, the imposter syndrome, etc. But again, multi millionaires, billionaires that I've worked with, they still have it, no matter what the degree of self work they've done. Again, you can minimize it, you can have it pretty much gone, or have it not impact you, especially when you manage if something comes up and you're pitching or teaching or speaking, and it's like, oh, you're not good enough, or you're not blah blah blah. Well, you have the tools to nuke it, and you can understand it's just a reaction. It's just something that's there. And then when you've done enough work on it, and I've realized this too, I'm like, why is this still there? Why is this thought coming back? There's two reasons. It's often just a heartbroken part of us that still hasn't been heard, hasn't been seen, hasn't been listened to, and it wants our attention. It's like, hey, I'm over here, and I need your attention, I need your love, I need something. It's a part of us, it's an aspect, a subconscious aspect of us that, again, is probably hurt or broken or hasn't fully been healed yet. And so being aware of that and not medicating it with air quotes, medicating with food, booze, drugs, sex, rock and roll, all the fun stuff, and being able to be with it and be with that discomfort, which most people don't want to do. Most people hate discomfort, and they'll do anything. I relate, and I used to do that too. Whether it's being out every night with a friend or a date or something, because I couldn't stand being. I didn't want to be with those feelings because they're scary, they're whatever. And now understanding that when you are willing to be with them and sit with them and feel through them, they go away. They dissipate, they disappear. But that initial gut reaction of, oh, keep this away at all costs. And some people are very, very good at this. They're either in their head, off in space, highly logical, or again, all the vices to try to numb that or distract themselves. When ironically, all they need to do is pay attention to it. It's to notice it and feel it and let those feelings be there. And it's kind of like burning down a candle. You light a candle, you burn down the wax candle, and it slowly dissipates, goes away. And I found that too, versus well, no, I put water on the candle, it's too hot, and no, you gotta sometimes feel through the feelings and have that awareness and listen. And by the way, this has also helped me listen as a man and listen to women better, listen to clients better, friends better, and be a better listener. Be listening to my own, I guess I'll say, unconscious mind, subconscious mind, inner child, whatever you call it, and being able to really listen to those nudges of the universe as well. Use my AKA your intuition, listening to signs, nudges of the universe. Well, no, go over here. No, not this way. Go over there. And being able to listen to that. And anytime I've listened to my intuition and actually heard it, it's never led me wrong. When I ignore it, or when I can't hear it because I'm too in my head or too fearful or worried or overwhelmed, which is a big problem for entrepreneurs because they can't be creative, they can't step ahead, they can't take action. They're on the treadmill of overwhelm, which limits them from getting there.
You packed a lot in there, and there's a bunch of things that I want to point out, and one of it is like pushing it back. So I think a lot of people, you're talking about like the millionaires, the billionaires, and the other people that you've worked with,
Yeah.
that we spend a lot of time doing, and then we get to a point, we hit a plateau, or we hit something, we hit a
Yeah,
wall, and
exactly.
all of a sudden we're like, why can't I get any further? And it's because of this stuff that we got going on that we don't want to recognize. And we have this idea in our head that, well, I don't want to go there. I don't need that drama.
Mhm.
I don't want to go there. And yet, not going there is actually making it worse.
Exactly, because it's like a fire in your basement. No, there's no fire in the basement. It's way down there. No, there's no fire. It's okay. There's no fire. I don't have to worry about that. Meanwhile, it's slowly burning your house down.
Right. And I mean, it's like when you try to tamp it back, you actually, you're adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
And
yeah. What you
so it
resist will
just,
persist. Yeah,
yeah, and so it just makes it come out even more. So, that first step of actually acknowledging, again, with your clients that you've worked with,
yeah,
when you think about that, a lot of the millionaires, the billionaires, even the six figures, and they're out there and they're working hard,
yeah, yeah.
and they're
Well,
out
let's
there
talk about that.
doing their stuff, and they're
Let's
working
talk about
hard. And
that.
you hit the nail on the head with, they're not stopping. And you can't listen unless you stop.
Fair, fair. And so two things for you, because this is great. I love this. You're right. They're working hard, working harder. Whether it's because they're listening to the hustle culture that's out there, the old way of thinking, what parents and grandparents and culture is taught: work hard, keep your head down, work hard, save all your money, and whatever. Work your life away, and then you can enjoy it when you're too old to enjoy it. You can retire when you're too old to actually enjoy it, right? Now, yes, obviously invest, be smart, have investments. Absolutely. That being said, too, I think when we work smarter, and there's many ways to do that, including by working on and upgrading this thing versus working hard. Well, I just need to work more, make more calls, or I just need more leads. Regina, James, I just need more leads for my business. That's all. No, you need to do better with the leads you have, and you need to connect better with the people you're connecting with. Otherwise, you're just going to pay a bunch of money for a bunch more leads in marketing and burn through them too, get told no. And you're probably in a worse place and more depressed place than you are now. So no, you don't necessarily need more leads, maybe, but definitely needing to look at the structure of business. Is it going to burn you out when you get more leads? Are you going to fry by having more leads? Maybe that's why your brain or the universe or whatever is actually throttling you. And there's that glass ceiling, is you're already burnt out. You're already on the treadmill. Can you handle more? You want more, but can you actually handle more in terms of energetically? Are you going to fry? Are you going to burn out? And again, your own subconscious mind, your inner child, God, the universe, whatever, will limit you to prevent you from frying. So to your point, Regina, you got to kind of get off and step off that treadmill and look at yourself on the treadmill. Wow, that's James on the treadmill. He's doing some crazy stuff. He's up the crazy tree. And he's just going and going crazy without even thinking about what he's doing or how it could be done better or why it's not working. And again, to your point, it's looking internally at the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, this won't really work, or someone, usually the people closest to us, saying, oh, no one will buy that, or you can't make money doing that, or whatever the BS is. You can make money doing anything. There's a couple of guys in Toronto who started a gift basket business. It's called By Peter and Paul's. And now they're like multi-millionaires because they started doing events and they hired people to do gift baskets so they could do more gift baskets. And then they were just doing the selling and the networking and relationships they love while other people made the gift baskets. And like I said, then events, and they're hosting events and emceeing events and having all these amazing events, either their own events or people started saying, well, you guys have such great events. Can you put events on for me? So they did. Again, multi-million selling, basically starting with gift baskets. And I'm sure most maybe parents or grandparents or our culture these days will be like, why, you sell gift baskets? Really? No, screw you. This is what I want to do. Or I want to knit or whatever it is, make cool coffee cups or whatever, whatever it is, right? So that's, you're right, that work hard, I got to work harder thing it's just going to burn you up more. And you're self-throttling anyways, because the universe, God, your high self, your subconscious mind, or even your energy levels are going to stop you. That's what's in the way. And it's not need more leads, need to work harder.
Yeah, yeah, you're hitting really cool points, and it's the stuff that I absolutely believe in as well, because I talk about energy all the time
Love it.
with
Love it.
my audience, and it's amazing. It's amazing how much we choose to ignore. It's we actually, we feel ourselves getting run down, and what do we do when we feel ourselves getting run down? We push and go harder because we're like, no,
Coffee,
I got to
caffeine
get through
pills,
this.
energy drinks. Oh God. No wonder teens are having heart attacks these days, sleeping 3 hours and living on energy drinks. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the folks who want to do the 5 a.m. club. I am not a 5 a.m. person. It's just not who I am. So 5 a.m. doesn't work for me.
Yeah, no.
And so I don't jump onto the mainstream trends and stuff.
Mm.
You talked very when we started talking here. We talked about being you and being authentic. It was all about authenticity. We try to be somebody else, and
Mhm.
it is absolutely positively exhausting to try to be somebody else.
It is. And it's actually, it's funny you say that too, because I agree. And it's also self-sabotaging because people have such good BS detectors these days. Trust is at an all-time low of anyone and anything, governments, businesses, pharma, whatever, you name it. People and any little red flags that they can feel and they sense. People are very intuitive. They may not know exactly what they're picking up on, but you'll have a great conversation with them and then they'll disappear. A great conversation, yes, let's do this. And then we'll say, no, I'm busy or I can't afford it. Really, I'm not into this. It's that vibe, that energy, to your point, Regina, that goes across. And it's proven by science. It's called transference and countertransference in psychology, where the patient or coach v client will pick up on the vibe, the thoughts, the energy of the mentor, and vice versa. The mentor picks up on that of the clients and patients. And again, just like out there in the world, people, your intention arrives, your vibe arrives before you do. You can smile, hey, I'm Bob, I'm awesome, you should buy my thing, or whatever your thing is, you should hire me. But that energy goes across and it says, no, you're not good, or you're scared, or you're self-doubting, or you don't think you can do it, or someone said they didn't like your picture grade 3, so you don't think you're a good whatever. This stuff comes from anywhere, by the way. Failures at relationships or whatever. It could be your parents used to say something to you, or they didn't say something to you, or like I said, a lot of failures, heartaches, heartbreaks. That stuff is there, though. Those emotions, those feelings are all there that you're trying to push down with all your might. Be this, unfortunately, inauthentic version of yourself that you think people will like and love. I was there too, again, being bullied. I was the most inauthentic, vanilla, plain Jane. I guess I should say plain James, so they couldn't make fun of me anymore. But people still picked on me, even though I was vanilla. And people often eventually started to not like me because I was such a yes man, a spineless jellyfish. Oh, agreeing with everyone, not disagreeing. And so everyone's like, why do you have an opinion? Are you agreeing with everyone? You don't seem authentic. And people picked on me anyways. So I thought, well, if I'm going to get chirped at and picked on and hated for anything I do, well, I might as well do what I love and be authentic. And the layers of removing that inauthenticity and all that, the masks, if you will, the armor, as I called, all the fakeness, all the look at me and all the inauthenticity.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that when you decided to do that, all of a sudden, people started accepting you for who you were, because it's like, wait a minute, he's doing all this cool stuff over here. Wait a minute, I actually want to go see what James is doing.
It's true. Look at the people complain and whine and bitch and moan about whoever. But look at the people we revere, like Elon Musk, a very different, wacky person. Steve Jobs didn't really care what you thought about him. He achieved great things, right? All the, Oprah, Ariana Huffington, all these, Sir Richard Branson, all these amazing men and women that have stepped into their own authenticity. And that's what has, you're right. Some people will leave, and that's okay. And most people don't realize that. Most people think, oh, I don't want to be alone. Don't want to be lonely. What if I'm, what if no one likes me? it's okay if people leave, because then you're going to attract the right people by being the authentic you. And if people leave, they weren't your people. And then you're going to attract, just like I did, the right people. The wrong people will leave, wrong people will go. And even some people that originally didn't like you will actually begin to like you, because you're standing for something. You have a backbone. Wow. Holy crap, James is kicking ass and taking names. He's speaking up. He's sharing his message. He embraces the haters. And, oh, you don't understand, James, or you don't know me. Absolutely, I don't. However, I've gone through a lot of crap myself, and this is my message. This is what I believe in. And it's cool if you don't like it or don't jive what I'm saying. If you jive with what I'm saying, if it's empowering to you and you like what I'm saying and my vibe and who I am, come along. Let's hang out. Let's do some cool things together. Let's make the world a better place together. But yeah, it's letting go of those masks. In fact, Lewis Howes has a great book called The Mask of Masculinity. And it's not just for men. It applies to women too. And women, if you want to understand men better, great book. I'm not getting paid for this. The Mask of Masculinity by Lewis Howes. Great book. Again, it's just as applicable to women as it is to men. I think he wrote it for men, but just as applicable. It's the masks we wear, and we try to be serious or cocky or funny or rude or bitchy or jerky or whatever, just to no, you can't. No, that's not the real me. I can't show the real me because we're so afraid of what people think about us. And I think, Regina, it's time people embrace that authenticity, embrace who they are, and embrace their weirdness, air quotes, embrace their wackiness, embrace their awesomeness, because that's what people will buy from. Not going to buy from a vanilla automaton, because there's a million of them out there. Yeah. They're not going to buy from just another talking head, another YouTube podcaster, Facebook or Instagrammer. They're going to buy from you and your own perceived wackiness and weirdness that people are going to love. Right.
Without going down too far down a rabbit hole, I want to bring up, because you were mentioning there, and a thought came to my mind. Cool. It's like we think about, where did these masks come from? And for whatever reason, high school popped into my mind. Now you have high school, you have the cool kids, you have the geeks, you have, the really weird, and we grow up at that young age when we're so impressionable, and we're trying to figure out, where do we fit in? And we think we have to fit into one of these spots.
Boxes, or yeah, exactly.
And we really don't need to fit into one of these spots, but we grow into an adult with this idea that, okay, so where am I supposed to be? Well, I was one of the geeky kids or the science kids. Same. And well, I have a business now, so I need to be with the cool kids. And this is the idea that you plant in your head. And so now you try to be somebody that you weren't before and that you aren't.
Just impressive, or I make so much money, you should work with me, or whatever. I mean,
yeah. And you mentioned something else about, when you meet somebody, and, if I come up to you and go, James, so I've got this thing going on. I really love this program that I have. I really think it's going to be super valuable for you. And you're catching something. Energy is a real thing. You're catching something going, wow,
it's like,
she's talking a good talk. It sounds really interesting, but something doesn't feel quite right.
Correct. And people will run.
Yes, you do. If you have that self-doubt, or it's not even, you could come across and put that mask on, because if you're talking about it to people that you're probably going to let them see that, I'm really not so confident about this. I'm really not so sure about this. But when you're in front of that potential client, you are out there, you're confident, you got that mask on, and you're like, this is awesome. And yet that energy, it comes through, and they're like, sounds good, but something's not right.
Red alert. Woo, woo.
Right? So,
and they see it's a math. They see where there's no, to your point, Regina, you can do whatever song and dance you want, but they see it's a math. They can tell intuitively. They can tell, and it's not necessarily up here, the logical brain that'll help you fix that. It's actually getting, dare I say, into your body, into your heart, into your subconscious, if you will. And we'll maybe talk about that later. But that's one of the biggest things is to look at, is to upgrade this thing while I'm helping you also upgrade that business structure and how you've created your business, and how it limits you from having more fun, more freedom, more family, more for all the F's: family, fun, freedom, friends, travel, whatever it is. And it's those two things, those two major things. It's that mind, dare I say the word mindset, but it's you. It's you. We are self-limiting, unfortunately, as humans. And I think it's actually a lot of the wanting to be liked and loved because it's inbuilt in our DNA and our genetics and our lizard brain that still, because it wasn't that long ago, if you got outcast by your community or your tribe or your whatever, your days were numbered. Other warring tribes, cannibals, animals, you'll get injured or fall, get hurt, and no one's there to take care of you, nurse you back to health. It was a real thing a very, very short time ago, and that's why it's so inbuilt in us, and so I guess insidious, for lack of better words, in us to want to be likable and do the song and dance and keep up with the Joneses, keep up with their neighbors, and I meet people like this all the time. It breaks my heart. There was this one lawyer, high priced, high power lawyer, hated it. I'm like, why the hell are you doing it in the first place? And she's like, well, all I want to do is teach yoga. I love yoga. All I want to do is teach yoga. But she's like, but you can't make any money at that. And I said, well, when did you decide that? And who told you that? I mean, I watched, yoga with Adrienne, and she's got, I don't know how many, thousands or hundreds of thousands of YouTube followers. I'm sure she makes a fortune on all kinds of stuff, products, YouTube ads, her own courses, you name it. And she started during COVID, an online yoga teacher. I mean, you can make money doing anything, like the baskets, gift baskets. But she's like, oh, I have to have a nice car, and then she was dressed to the nines and all the nice, exactly, be in that box so people will like me and not leave me, because again, that deep down, it's like, well, will I die? Will I be worthless, unlovable? And usually that fear is, either unlovable, alone, lonely, or dead. If people leave me, that's usually the deep belief. If they know I'm not good enough, or if they know the real me, or the deep, dark secrets. I got news.
Yeah, I mean, that's the basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I mean,
Yeah.
the belonging is right up there in the top.
It's so critical. It's so, I think we got to be really careful with that, Regina, because yes, I mean, I get it. We all want to belong to something. Absolutely. Just making sure we're belonging to the right thing, and we're not being someone incongruent to ourselves and inaligned and not with our vision, just to be liked by the peanut gallery, or some people we revere. Oh, look, they're rich. Well, I want to pretend I'm rich. They're rich. They like me, or they're cool, or they're whatever. They're good with women, or they're successful entrepreneurs, or they're good at dating men, or I don't know, whatever people's thing are. Well, I want to be like them. Be like you. Embrace your weirdness. And ironically, my posts that talk about embracing your own weirdness, being yourself, they get some of the highest views about. So I'm going to do some more about being you, embracing you, and showing it to the world. Not that you have to like open the kimono and show them every deep, dark secret, but be open, be vulnerable. I found vulnerability is so powerful for dates. It's so powerful for networking. It puts people at ease, and oh my God, they're not perfect, and wow, are they ever real? And vulnerability is power. Brene Brown shares this too. If you're open and you can be vulnerable with someone, that is powerful. The masks, that's weakness. You don't want to show yourself. That's not courageous. Vulnerability, openness. Yeah, exactly. That hiding, that's cowardly. If you drop the masks, drop the BS. This is me. This is real me. I'm not perfect. I got lots of, amazing, beautiful flaws that make me, and just, do my best to be the best man I can. That's the real me.
Yeah, so we're actually running short on time. So I do want to. I'm going to recap some of this, because we were talking about the self-doubt and those feelings and stuff. So big thing there is, if you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling that something's not right, and it's time to stop and take a step back. This is what we've kind of covered: is stop, listen. And when I say listen, it's not just listen to others around you, it's listen to yourself. Yeah. Stop and listen.
Yeah, exactly. Stop, listen to your heart and to your gut, really, to your intuition, I think, is even, because sometimes your heart can lie. Sometimes it can lie. It's good intention. It can fall in love. It can get excited, but head and heart and gut, and make sure they're aligned with what you want. And to your point, Regina, it's that take one step back to take two steps forward, slow down to speed up, the martial arts adage, whatever you want to come at it with. You're right. It's that get off the treadmill. And I would even invite people, in fact, to take 10, 20, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day if you want, and put that in your calendar anytime of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever, to sit and reflect and think about your thinking. Am I thinking about this all wrong? Do I need to go about a different way? Do I need to do something different? Why am I on this treadmill? Am I even doing the stuff I want to do? Am I doing this stuff that's actually highly productive to my business or not? And I think to your point, get off the treadmill and think. And I invite, take at least 10 minutes a day. Yeah. 10 minutes a
Yeah.
day. Yeah,
I mean, that's great advice right there. Just sit with yourself for 10 minutes a day
it is.
and do it in the morning and set your intentions.
Exactly. Well, you're doing that. Exactly.
Yeah, because you really want to make sure that you know that you're present
Mm,
for whatever is going to fall
whatever it is.
on your lap in the
Yeah.
day. Because the thing is that some of us spend so much time planning for the future that we don't sit here in the present, and we can't plan the future. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen from day to day. I mean, anything could happen,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Have a
so you
vision.
stop and you listen, you set your intentions
Mm,
with, instead of being in that box,
yeah.
with the idea that, okay, and if it doesn't go exactly the way I want it to go, well, I'm going to run with it. I'm going to roll with it and see where it goes.
Let's see exactly. Let's see what happens. And that's why, yes, have a 5-10 year vision. But I mean, to have a highly detailed 5 to 10 year plan. No one saw COVID. No one saw it's the recession. All this stuff, right? And I love, to your point, what can I do now? What can I do today? What the next few days, the next few months? What really will move the needle, and what I need to start? What do we need to stop? And again, it can be so hard because I'm a high performer and go, have trouble sitting down. But I think it's critical to be able to sit down and slow down, to speed up. And I'm living proof. If you want to try it, trust me, it works. To slow down, speed up, think about your thinking, and really, again, time in the calendar, non-negotiable. Even if all you do is just sit and think and reflect, or just sit and stare at a tree, I promise you, the golden nuggets will come. Stuff will come. You take the time to just sit and avoid forcing anything to come. But okay, what are my revelations? Am I liking what I'm doing? Am I doing what I should be doing? Should I be doing something else? What would light my heart up? What would really truly help people? And forget about, would this make me millions of dollars? Because when you do what you love and you help people you serve, you will make millions of dollars. So stay out of the cost and the price and what will make me the most money. Yes, that's important. Although when you get it right with your energy, your intention, your mindset, and the strategy of your business, and making sure the structure supports that growth of money and freedom at the same time. That's what I do. It happens. So that reflection time is absolutely critical. Even
Yeah,
if you're sitting
and
there.
I love how most people say, use your head and your heart. I love how you say use your head, your heart, and your gut. Make sure all three are in alignment, because your head and your heart might be off on this thing, and your gut's going, I don't know about this.
Exactly. Your head's like, oh, we got to make money, and then your heart's like, well, the heart gets excited about everything and passion, which is a wonderful thing. But then your gut's like that final check, like, okay, am I just excited, or should I run from this thing or person or opportunity or whatever, and should I go this way instead? So absolutely, head, heart, and gut aligned. That's for sure.
And so the second key point, because we are running out of time here, I was like, we could talk for hours on this stuff. My gosh, you and I could go through this stuff for like forever.
Exactly.
We're so aligned with each other with how this works. And that other point is being authentic. So now you're there, you're present, you found you, and so you need to show up authentically, take those masks off, and be you, because that's what the world really needs. The world needs you. The world
Yeah.
doesn't want plastic you. The world wants you.
Yep. No photocopies or clones needed or required.
No mini-me's.
No, exactly. And it's just, you get lost in the noise. You're just another whatever, another guy or girl on the online dating site. You're just another entrepreneur, another business owner, or coach, or advisor, or consultant, or toilet paper maker, or whatever you do. Another cell phone company, or whatever it is. Take the cell phone company Virgin. They're hip, they're cool, they're fun, they do cool things. That's their thing. If you don't like it, that you're not for them. But yeah, that authenticity. And I think I'd invite people to start reflecting, who am I really, and what do I really want? Because the cost, like this yoga teacher, lawyer that wanted to just teach yoga all day long, the cost was literally her health. She was having tons of health issues, depression, anxiety, but also physical health issues, because she wasn't happy. She was killing herself, working crazy hours, which she did not love, doing basically 90% of her day, hating her day. That's a recipe for disaster.
Right. And the ironic thing is that what she wanted to do, that she loved to do, is yoga. So she knew inherently that
You
she was
knew.
killing herself because she knew how to fix it. With
Exactly. And just refused, and unfortunately, and
Hmm,
you can't help everyone. You can't force anyone to do anything. But I
exactly.
invited her to consider a few things, and I hope she did.
Awesome. Before we wrap up, where would people find you if people want to get a hold of you? How do they
Yeah,
find you?
great question. So my website is limitless-entrepreneur.com because my business is that limitless entrepreneur. So limitless-entrepreneur.com. You can reach me, James, at limitless-entrepreneur.com. And I'm on YouTube too, James R. Elliot 99. Elliot with one T, Scottish Elliot. James R. Elliot 99. On YouTube, you'll find my show there as well. And again, James R. Elliot, Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
So let's see, we've got Limitless Entrepreneur. Did I spell that right?
Yep. Exactly. It's a what mouthful. Limitlessentrepreneur.com. And then James at
Yeah.
limitlessentrepreneur.com or
Uh,
James R. Elliot.
James R. Elliott on YouTube, on social media. Just search for James R. Elliott because, I actually, when we first met and we first started talking, that's what I did. I went out and I searched for James R. Elliott. Now, there's a lot of James Elliots out there.
This is
I
true. This
only
is true.
found
And no one
one.
like me.
I found you so fast when I put the R there.
That's it. There you go. Be unique. I'm like, is it going to be weird that I go by James R. Elliot or James Robert Elliot? Who cares? Look at all the actors that do. Look at all the actors and famous people that do. Who cares? I'm James Robert Elliot because there's a bunch of other James Elliots and they're nothing like me. So
You are definitely unique. So
thank
if you were going to give one last piece of wisdom to the
you.
audience based on our conversation here, what would your little nugget be? Right? It could be multiple nuggets. I'll let you run with it.
Fair. That's a great. I think the key, again, going back to this reflection, taking time, stepping off the treadmill. Look at what you're doing. Write down everything you're doing in your business, and put numbers or symbols or something, cross things out, highlight things into what you love to do, what moves the needle, and then hopefully we can create a synergy of the stuff you love to do and the stuff that moves the needle the most. Because there's no point in you, a business owner, doing things or a business leader doing the $3 task, the $1 task, the $50 tasks. You should be doing hundreds or thousands of dollars, those tasks that get you hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, and either outsourcing, automating, delegating, or eliminating. There's some things that just don't need to be done. I'm like, why am I doing this? Is it actually, and looking at the things, is this getting any results? Or do I stop and test something new, something that may work really well? But I don't have the time. Well, stop the crap that doesn't work and test something new and be uncomfortable. Be okay. I invite you to be okay being uncomfortable with all this because it'll set you free and it'll help you grow. Without discomfort, there is no growth. And with growth, there is always discomfort. It's how we grow. So that would be one of the biggest things I'd look at is write down all the stuff you do. And is there anything you hate? Is there anything you shouldn't be doing? And what is the low value task? What are the high value tasks? If you need some help with that, feel free to reach out and we can look at that for you and find ways to delegate, automate, outsource, and clear your plate for all but moves a needle, makes you the most money and gives you the most joy, helps the most people. How does that sound? How would you love to do that? And that way you can stop being a jack of all trades, master of none, and become someone who is a recognized authority because you're doing the core things that you love and you're an expert at all day that people pay you for. Not doing admin or bookkeeping, unless that's your thing, then fine. But it's what is your thing? What is your thing? Do it all day long. Love it. And you'll love your life. You'll love your business. It's what you do all day long. And ironically, you'll get more done, have more freedom and free time for life and for living.
Wow, you packed a ton in there. We could have a whole conversation around all of that.
Fair
However,
enough.
we are out of time, so we're just going to have you back again sometime.
Beautiful. Love to.
We'll have more conversations on this because this has been absolutely so much fun and amazing, packed with value. Thank you so much, James, for being with me today.
You're very welcome. Thank you as well. Allowing me to serve and give my message. And here is to everyone's wild success. And again, reach out if you need anything at all. Happy to help.
I love that. All righty. And that's what we'll wrap up with. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Coffee with Regina, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.